Hey, what's up you guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to talk about something that I've been wanting to speak about on my channel for a while. And yes, that is subliminal and satanic messages that are going around in today's TV shows. To be more specific, not just any TV shows, specifically children's TV shows. As kids, we love to watch TV. Every cartoon is just so fascinating to us with all the bright colors, the funny and relatable characters, and you know, the kid-friendly storylines. But because we're that young, we don't really take everything in besides what's necessary. We just look at the colors and the people and the story, but we don't look at the background. Recently, I was walking past the TV and I saw a kids show, and it was one that I had never heard of before, but I was watching it for a little bit, and right away I saw a lot of occult symbolism in there, and the characters were literally just blatantly wearing long red and black robes and throwing up like Illuminati signs, and it was just so obvious, you know? I was looking around me like, does anybody else see this? Like, is it just me? And it's crazy that that's just been in the media, and that's what our kids are watching these days, and it's been going on for a while, but I feel like not a lot of people are that aware of it. So I don't know, maybe this will open your eyes a little bit. But yeah, today we're going to be talking about the subliminal messages and symbols that take place in today's networks, such as Disney, Cartoon Network, and Nickelodeon. Okay, so the first show that I'm going to be talking about is SpongeBob. For the most part, we've all grown up with it. We've all seen at least one episode or two. As the show progressed and as it got more popular, I did notice this right when I saw it, but it didn't strike me as anything like super big or sketchy, you know? But now that I'm older, I've taken a look at a couple more episodes, and I've seen things that kind of blew my mind about like how obvious it was and how no one was really talking about it, or how no one really cared that much. So there's this one episode of SpongeBob. It's called Cephalopod Lodge, and in this episode they have a lot of symbols, and I really don't think they were aiming to hide it, but they just put these symbols and this entire meaning into the show, into that episode, and it's just so crazy. Just take a look at this clip.
Hello, Brother Roger.
Come right in, Brother Squidward.
Thank you.
Yeah, so this entire episode is basically about Squidward being a part of this cult. They show him wearing a long red robe as a practicer of an occult would. They even take it so far as showing the members becoming enlightened by a serpent. Just like in the Bible, they think that Eve was enlightened when she took a bite of the apple rather than that being a mistake. So in the episode, the serpent is placing a mark or a brand on them, which is symbolism for the mark of the beast. So that's pretty crazy that that was in there. That just this entire episode, just like it's like, whoa, because like you see the pyramid, you see the eye, it's just all out there, it's just there, and wow, it just blew my mind. But that isn't the only episode that I've caught some messages in there. There's also this other episode, I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but it's the one where that new toy store is being opened in Bikini Bottom, and SpongeBob and Patrick sneak in the middle of the night or whatever, and then once it goes dark, like once it turns at nighttime, the toys start like becoming alive, I think. Just take a look at a shot from that episode. Did you miss it? I'll play it again for you. I don't even know what to say, honestly, but it's all right there for you. There's not much to say. Take what you will from that, but let's move on to the next show. So this next show is fairly new on Disney Channel, and it is so filled and just jam-packed with occult symbolism. It's insane. It's everywhere you look. Let's just take a look at the intro and try to dissect it step by step. So the first thing you see is the uncle of the show wearing a Masonic hat. Then as we continue, we see that eyes are being sold, which is very weird. Like, why would somebody be selling eyes? It was obviously placed there for symbolism. There's really no other reason I could see there being a reason for someone selling eyes. And there's even maps or spells of some sort with the all-seeing eye and triangles on it. And in the very, very end, you can see a picture flashed at you. Did you see it? Let me freeze frame it for you. Yeah, so they have all these symbols placed in front of us. We see the pyramid with the eye of Horus on it, a pentagram, a lamb, a star, and it gets you thinking, like, what is this show really about? Let's just move on to the next one because I don't even know what to say. Okay, so this next show that I'm going to tell you about is literally going to blow your mind. It blew my mind because its target audience is legit for babies, for toddlers and up. So like from the ages of probably a year to like 6 years, 7 years. If you haven't guessed it already, it's the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. Yeah, I know. Just take a look at this clip and you will see it all.
Gorge, I'd like to be on your team and help you, but my skateboard's all busted, see?
Did you see the eye on Goofy's skateboard? Is it a coincidence? Watch what happens next.
Okay, which wrench matches the shape of the nut on Goofy's skateboard?
Have you ever seen a triangular bolt on a skateboard before? Because I know that I haven't. It might seem so innocent and you're thinking like this is a children's show, like this is a legit like for babies show. Why would they try to put that in there? And maybe because the show is so innocent and it's for such a young audience that nobody expects to see anything in there. If this weren't a subliminal message trying to be implemented into this episode, then what could be the reason for there being an eye on Goofy's skateboard? I just don't see any plausible reason. There has to be a reason for everything. That's why directors make staging choices and lighting choices and costume choices. Everything has a reason behind it. So there wouldn't just be a random eye and a random triangular bolt on a skateboard. Yeah. All right, the next show that I have for you honestly kind of broke my heart because I grew up on this. This was everywhere in my household. I love this show from the bottom of my heart, and I never knew that there was dark symbolism and meaning behind it. And this next clip comes from Tom and Jerry. I don't even have to explain this next one, so just take a look at the clip and see for yourself.
Irving, call security and have these...
Sir, it's him. This always gives me the creeps, sir.
He's the president of Hollywood. He's supposed to give you the creeps.
Greetings, your tinseliness, imperious leader of Hollywood.
They're literally on their knees worshiping the leader of Hollywood, who is clearly depicted in the shape of the devil. And that creeps me out so much that was able to slide into so many people's homes, and all those kids were subliminally just watching that and they had no idea. I believe that was a movie. I don't think that was an episode in the show. And that was in there, and I watched that movie and I didn't know. I didn't notice it. I didn't see it. I had no idea, and that was in my home. And that's what's just mind-blowing, that it's that easy for something to be implemented into someone at such an early age. You really have to be careful what you watch and what you let your kids watch and what you let your siblings or your nephew and your niece watch, because they're young children. They're very impressionable. they learn from what they see. And if they're watching these videos, these movies that have all these symbolism in it, then eventually they'll learn to recognize those symbols and they'll learn to recognize those meanings. From there, it's up to them really what they want to choose to do with that. The next example is from a show called Looney Tunes. It's a more recent episode called The Grand Old Duck of York, and it was aired on May 14th, 2013. Basically, what happens is that Daffy has a near-death experience, and that gets him thinking about death. And this leads him to start singing about basically what would happen after he died. And he is promoting alcoholism, he's promoting materialism, gun violence, swearing. And this is all part of a child's show. An image pops up on the screen and we can all infer what it means. The real question is, why is this being promoted to children? All these things, drinking, swearing, gun violence. These things have nothing to do with children, and yet they're being implemented into a catchy song and they're being sung to a child audience. This is the media that we have today, and that's pretty frightening if you ask me. This last show is really scary and disturbing. So disturbing to the point where it actually hurts my soul to talk about it. Like, it literally hurts my soul. It scares me to talk about it. So I'm warning you to prepare yourself for this. The last show that I'm gonna talk to you about is broadcasted on Adult Swim, and it's called Mr. Pickles. You might be asking, okay, I thought this was a video about children's TV shows and stuff. And yes, although that is true, this show, Mr. Pickles, is broadcasted on Adult Swim, and Adult Swim airs on the same network as Cartoon Network. If you don't know this, if you're not familiar with this, Adult Swim airs on the same channel as Cartoon Network, but it airs at a later time. So it usually starts around like 10 and on up until like the late hours of the morning, but sometimes it could even start as early as 8 p.m. And when I was a kid, I did not always go to sleep right on time. I did not always go to sleep at 8 or 9. I went to sleep at like 12, maybe 1. And that is exactly when these shows are being aired. Okay, so what? So it's an adult show. What's so wrong about it? What's so wrong about it is that this show is literally about a satanic dog. I don't want to go too into detail because I personally don't even want to talk about it, but I'm also not going to go into detail because it's so blatantly obvious and it's so in your face. Literally in your face, that I don't even have to discuss it. The message isn't even trying to be hidden. In this case, it's just really trying to be pushed out on people. I'll show you some pictures, but that's really all I want to say about that. If your child is ever staying up late for some reason, make sure what they're watching is appropriate. And really, I hope that you take something from this, not just, you know, all this knowledge of realizing everything that's going on in the background of all these shows, but I want you to just really be aware of your surroundings. I was just so happy with the world growing up. Like, up until last year. I said this so many times that I'm woke now, like after 2016 I'm woke. Like, I say it and it's funny to me, but it's the truth, because I did not know how many bad things were in the world. I didn't know all the conspiracy theories. I didn't know any of this, and now that I finally am aware of these things, I'm just so awake. It's not just a saying that people say, like, oh, you're asleep, you know? It felt literally like I was asleep because I was living in this world where I didn't know any of these things were going on. I didn't know anything. Now that I'm more knowledgeable and I'm more aware of my surroundings, I do feel awake. I feel more alive. In a sense, I feel more safe, because I know that I don't live in a perfect world. I've always known that, but it's insane how much you will learn if you just take the time to open your eyes. Most importantly, I just want you guys to be aware of your surroundings. Be aware of what you're watching. Be aware of who's watching these things. If you have kids of your own, please guard them. Watch what they're watching. Do not let them watch just any mindless garbage. Guard them. Their souls are precious. If you're trying to guard someone that you love away from the very evil and negative things in this world, then you should start with the media and the things that you are showing them. So yeah, that's all I have for you guys today. I really hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe if you aren't already. I'll see you guys in the next one. Be safe and don't believe everything you see, because not everything you see is the truth. I love you guys. Bye.